Mate, great to see you again. Haven't seen you in quite a while.
You too, Phil.
Mate, look, what we're going to do is we're going to wind the clock back. Now, we're going to wind it right back to the start. And you've had a very eventful life with all the racing you've done, everything from boats to cars to the whole lot. So let's wind that clock back to when you very first got into boats. How did you get into boats?
Well, when I was about 12, I started to build sailing boats. And my father said he couldn't afford the timber to put it into them, so I stopped with the sailing boats. And then I decided later on in life, in the 50s, I'd put a race boat together. I was always mad about circuit racing, and I used to go to Cabarita quite a bit, deep water on our push bikes, to watch the boat races at those places. And later on I joined the club at Cabarita in the 50s, and that was my first racing experience. I was in the handicap races, went on to build another boat, which was Easy Motion. In Easy Motion we had a 427 Chev in it on carburetors. That held the record for ski modified when we first started drag racing it at Silverwater.
How did you get into drag boat racing? Like, did you see a picture of it? Did you see it in magazines and think, yeah, they're really cool and you want to do it? Or was it just something that evolved?
Speed was the more interest that took me along that line. And Keith Burke, he bought in Sanger boats. He bought in a hydroplane, and it did 100 and odd mile an hour. And I thought, well, that's where I want to end up.
Mm-hmm.
But my situation was I had a displacement boat, and I used to run in the displacement class. So, but when Keith suggested we start drag racing at Silverwater Club, which was a very successful venue in the old days, where there was a lot of help from members and boat racers from all clubs that joined in, and they provided a ramp to put the boats in, and sand on the beach, and because it was very much like a drain down there when we were racing.
Industrial wasteland, I believe.
Yeah. From then on, I progressed to helping form the drag boat races of Australia, and I wanted to go quicker again. Bought the original boat that they bought in to flop these Australian boats off, and I rebuilt that one up from scratch from a place out at Lundila. It was laying in the grass out there. I rebuilt it up to my own specs and started with a 427 Chev engine with carburetors, and that wasn't successful, so I went to injection, Crower injections on it, and we were successful with that up until the point it still wasn't fast enough.
What sort of speeds did you end up getting out of Dad's toy with the injected engine?
116 was the fastest I think I got with that, and I think that was a record at the time.
So you were at the very start of drag boat racing in Australia?
We were, one of us.
Do you remember what year that was?
That'd be in 1970.
Be early.
71 or 72, I think it was. I'd have to look at some old records to justify that.
So one of the founding fathers of drag boat racing in Australia.
Yes, and then we've had several other presidents, and before me there was a couple of others, but the hydros were the attraction of the race day.
Mm-hmm. They were, and I can remember boats like Blueprint, Torrance Tidal, and correct. Just to name a couple of them, and they were very quick in their day.
They were, and they were all over 100 mile an hour, and then they went to 150 mile an hour, and they really got cracking in the final when we got better equipment. Most of our equipment was Australian made, other than what we carried in a suitcase. Through
the 70s and 80s, drag boat racing was pretty big. It was
very
great
big.
Crowds.
A lot of promotion went into it.
They did it very, very well back then. I mean, the whole crew, I think Christine Stones used to organise all those parades
Stone.
Back then.
Yes. In Australia, I think for drag racing, Upper Hawkesbury Powerboat Club was the best place. Water conditions were very good up there. And then later on, when the faster speeds were required, we used to go to Victorian rowing course.
Is that Patterson Lakes?
Yes, at Patterson Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we performed down there, and I set an Australian record down there with their timing gear, and also the previous records here in Windsor. But we drag race wherever we could find a strip of water.
Well, I can remember going to Lake Jindabyne, Tacoma, Lithgow. Went to Lithgow once. But the problem with those big open lake areas is wind. Alright, so you stepped up from the injected big block in the Hondo and you went to blown alcohol. Now, you need to know what you're doing to drive those boats.
I'll say I stood it up a few times and tossed myself out of the boat and back into the boat. Luckily I never come in contact with the water, but that was an unfortunate thing. You got to fly them. You can't rely on the boat taking off with that sort of power. And I was trying to encourage a lot of the circuit boat racers to start the way the Americans do, from a not a rolling start to a standstill start off a rope. And we tried that at Windsor, but the river's so wide there, it was a bit unfortunate we couldn't do it successfully. But other than that, the starts were the most important part of drag racing.
So when you take off, you just slam the throttle, have your foot hard down on the plate?
Yeah, hard down on the down pedal. Mm-hmm. Bury the nose so it just rises slowly with the power of the prop, and spin the prop in the water. Don't try and drive the boat straight away.
Oh, so a bit along the lines of clutch slip.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. We had clutches fitted to the boats, dog clutches, but now they're running 2-speed gearboxes in them and doing all sorts of things with propellers, and so it's a lot more involved now than what we were all learning.
You were the guinea pigs.
That's true.
What sort of speed did you get out of that?
Well, one of the fastest speeds was timed up at Windsor, and it was 153 mile an hour, and unfortunately I wasn't able, I had a kidney stone attack on the day, and I wasn't able to back it up with an extra run. So it didn't stand, but I think 146.39 I think it is
the official record for your
it
boat.
was when I set it in Victoria. Bought an blown fuel boat from Emmett Pagluso, and it was called Alcohol Abuse, and I renamed it Blown Abuse after rebuilding it to the way I wished to drive it, and Stan, with his help from him and his wife, went on to race at 4 or 5 different places in America, and had success at Castaic Lake, where I got runner-up and Stan got first place in that race.
That's a great effort, isn't it? 2 Aussies, first and second.
Yeah, it was a really exceptional thrill for me to come home from America with a trophy to the standard that they race over there.
And over there they don't muck around, do they? And it's just tough competition.
It's very tough.
And they run hard.
Yes, and I was down on cubic inches to the others. Stan was running a Keith Black engine, and I was running a 452 cubic inch Chev with the same sort of injection that they were using. And I enjoyed, the experience was the most enjoyable for the 12 months that I was there.
You and Stan, you travelled around together, obviously.
We campaigned together with another American, Jim Hines. He used to run our class, and ours was the last of the open boats to be able to run for the rule changes for that year. We're open cockpit, no cabin.
Favourite place to race over there?
Oh, Arizona.
That'd be Firebird
Lake, which is on an Indian reservation and was purposely built for drag boats.
Decided to get into cars?
Finances put me that way. Finances, it was costing me quite a bit of money to live there and do boat racing. I went back and I purchased this engine that was advertised for a drag car, so I come back with a big hole in my wallet, and when I got the engine into Australia, I loaned it to one of the jet car drivers that I'd made friends with in America, and he progressed around Australia in the main cities doing shows, and I was able to crew for him when I was in the Sydney areas. He successfully done his campaign with 2 Americans, and then I sat down with Stan to copy his top alcohol chassis, which was a Bob Myers chassis.
Stan Tyndall, yes.
Yeah. And then I went on to have Richard Body build me a chrome moly frame and chassis, and with that I built this jet car. It was 8 metres long in my garage at home. A local fella, Rod Andrews, to do the tin work on my car, and then I did all the finishing off swaging and most of that.
So that's why the car looked good, because Rod Andrews done the tin work.
Yeah.
It was very good. And then
I
you had
did.
Richard Boddicker do the chassis, who
The
you
two
can't
best
go
men.
wrong with. You can't go wrong with Richard doing something for you. You're always going to feel safe in a car if he's built something.
That's true. Down in Heathcote in Victoria, I used to go down there at the Boxing Day and promote with all the other jet vehicles. So the last time I went down there to promote the car, it was in the middle of summer. I was in the race suit for about 20 minutes. Now, any driver that knows what a race suit's like and a helmet for 20 minutes is purgatory. From then I went on to make my run. I hit the afterburner and launched, and when I launched, the car moved to the right, hit the right hand fence, then off and hit the left hand safety barrier, turned upside down and ended up at the finish line. So I couldn't tell you what speed I was doing, so nothing got compiled.
I heard a rumour, and tell me if it's true or not, that you had a couple of accidents in the jet car, didn't you?
Yes.
Was that one where your shoes got stuck or something?
The top of my safety boot was interfering with the rear brakes, and it was locking up under the rear wheels. And it went the same time each time. We didn't realise this until we found out on the boots that there was a marking from the pedals.
Now, running the jet dragster, after having 4 mishaps, and the last one being at Heathcote, was that the last of your racing days?
I was getting to the point where my reaction times weren't quick. I'd lost my reaction time, and health-wise, I wasn't able to do it.
So you've had a pretty good go at it. You started off in sailing boats. Sailing boats took you all the way to jet cars.
Yes.
But the best part were the drag boats in between, for sure.
Yeah, it was.
And the greatest part of racing and doing all that?
It's meeting all the friends that I'd met over the years, close friends and distant friends, seeing the world that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been into the aircraft, light aircraft, and I'd been to Oshkosh to see the biggest air show in America. But other than that, it was all meeting people and going places that I enjoyed the most.
And that's the best part, isn't it?
Oh, it was.
Sometimes it's not doing the 150 miles an hour, it's
No.
the social side and what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a wonderful weekend to go away with your mates and friends and be with them for the whole weekend, and then you struggle back to work on the Tuesday, worn out. But that's how life goes.
That's it. Peter Bennett, from sailing boats to rocket cars, you are an Australian drag boat legend, and thank you very much for spending some time with me today to tell people about it.
Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate your interview.